Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are here to do a bit more bus driving. I'm currently on, I think, the second major iteration of my entire company bus setup, and I have an idea on how to improve it, but it's kind of a major rework again, so I want to show you guys the current Gapa route as I'm using it and talk a bit about its advantages and also problems. So we'll be doing one round around the entire thing, which is quite a long one, so I don't know how long this is gonna be. I'm not trying to make another comparison with how it pays out because I already know that overall my bus network isn't really performing that well anymore. Also kind of weird how many people just didn't get in there. Or did I miss something? Did I leave a few there that still want to join in? I mean, really, from this place right now, there are two buses or two bus routes driving. One of which I'm using, and no, nobody wanted to join anymore. The other one is. I'll leave the door open, doesn't matter. The other one is a bus going down to the refinery. And that's really one that rarely makes any profit. But it does its thing, and it also provides more people for me to pick up over here. So one thing to point out straight away, right now I have two buses on this route, the one that I'm driving and another Cheetah MK1. This is actually not the one from the other bus video, this is a completely new one that I bought and pretty much upgraded the same way as the other, because I kinda just needed this exact same setup again. So both of my cheetahs are completely upgraded, and I think it's also helping the AI at least a little bit. And yeah, we're just gonna drive from Gapa over back to Jeju Island and then do actually 2 laps around there. So to give you guys an idea on why the entire thing is set up as it is right now and what the actual problems are with those things, let's take a quick look at the map. And yeah, first up, I know that in order to get all the people from the bus terminal over here, we actually need to visit all the major other bus terminals around the map. So we have one in Jeju City, we have one over here in Seongsan, one in Gangyang, and one over here at the Harlem Fishing Village. So yeah, that's all the places that you need to get to in order to get any person who wants to go north to get into your bus. Otherwise, people will just not go there. Initially, my first setup was just having a bus that goes all the way down to Sanho, coming back up to Gapa, and then going to Gangyang because that's one of the closest things that you can reach from here. But I wasn't aware at the time that you actually need to directly bring people to the other places. So that really left a lot of people just sitting around here forever, which I didn't like. My problem right now with what it is right now with this setup is that going around the entirety of Jeju Island is not a short route. But just if you have to go back to Gapa, just coming off from here, going all the way down here and coming back up, maybe going the other direction, that's about the same length, I think, as going around this area once. So that's an immense detour for not all that many people. And there's also another problem with when you get people who maybe shortly before I go back down to Gapa, I may get another few from a terminal that may want to go to Gangyang or something. But I'm first going down to Gapa, and they are of course not going off here because why would they? And therefore they are just blocking a lot of seats that might be needed for people in Gapa to get on. So it's there are a few problems here. And just the amount of extra length of forward route in order to include Gapa instead of just being the Ollering, it's it's kind of making the entire Ollering experience a bit, well, or quite a bit less efficient. So I think what I'm gonna do after this episode is rework the entire system once again, and likely only have one route around Jeju Island, which is gonna be a modified Ollering version, just to have a few more things going on, to also go both directions and make that work in a sensible way. And then also just have a separate bus for Gapa, and that will only go to the terminals, no stops in between. So I'm not entirely happy about that setup, and I think in the end it's gonna leave a few bus stops unattended, but they may not be as much of a problem as it is trying to include them. Also, what I noticed, just looking at the type of money that I'm making right now, my Gangyang downtown bus isn't really all that effective anymore, and I think that's down to me making major detours to go to other places as well, even up to the Harlem fishing village, and also the power plant, water factory, and that kind of thing. Also going further to the east as well. It's just so much of a detour that the main part of the route is not attended to enough. So I think I'll also be reworking that. I don't really mind going further to the east, but I think... Oops. That definitely was a huge pay cut for me now. Lowering the comfort level. Um, yeah, just doing these detours, especially to the west, it's kinda not helping too much. It doesn't help as much with covering all the bus stops as it hurts with efficiency for one of my main cities. So there's definitely a bit of balancing to be done, and I'll be looking further into that. I think I have a few ideas on how I could maybe make things a bit more efficient. But we'll have to see about all of those. And yeah, apart from that, I think my Jeju city route is going pretty well. I wish I had one more that was a bit more major for going to the northeast area and to the Seonsang terminal as well. I mean, I can likely just cover that all with the new Ollering version. I hope it's gonna work out. In the end, there's just so many people there that I may need to pay extra attention to that. But we'll see about it. Actually, at some point I even had a bit of an epiphany when it comes to how to possibly divide all of the routes, and let me just show you on the map real quick. I think it would be real nice if we could just have one bus route in Gangyang, possibly also including this area here, just going to here and then returning. So that would be the southern area of Jeju Island. And then we would also have maybe a one on the west end, possibly going up into A wall, but also just going around this entire area over here, possibly even with the major road cutting across the island right here. So that would be something that could be covered with one bus route. And then also something to the east that takes care of the Pyosan fishing village up to over here at the industrial area, and just everything to the east here. I think that would also work out pretty well. And then also, of course, one in Jeju, and then we only would have to take care of a connecting route like Ollering. That would, of course, with only 5 buses available, completely cut out anything on Only Island, which is only going to become more of a problem as soon as we get more updates. And also the other problem is that maybe if we go to this bus stop here, the person who wants to be picked up here, or we can pick up here, might want to go to Gangyang as the next stop, and maybe even further to this direction. So having a bus that only goes around this area here might not ever pick them up because they just don't accept that they have to go up onto towards this area and then go further from there. So right now the bus stuff is not really that flexible, and to some degree it's a nice challenge because you just have to make the best of what you can. It's kind of a puzzle in a way, but it's also kind of weird that you cannot really get everything done. So I don't know, I'm a bit split when it comes to this entire thing. If I want the passengers to be a bit more flexible, to be pretty much doing things like we have to do in real life when it comes to this stuff. If you go to a bus stop in the middle of nowhere, you just have to take what you can get and then possibly switch over a few times to get to your actual destination. I'm not entirely sure about that, but yeah, there is a bit of a puzzle element to it, and that would be completely gone if passengers were far more capable. So I think what I'm gonna do in the end is I'm gonna do the intended changes as I envision them right now. That's also gonna get rid of bus that's just going across Jeju Island to go from Jeju City to Gangyang back and forth through the different um, roads that are available right now, like the dirt road at the lumberyard, actually across the top of the mountain with the resting area, and then also right next to the A-wall dirt track. So it's basically doing the route 6 times before it completes the full loop. Just going on one track, one direction first, then taking another one the other direction, then coming back down on the third, then going back with the first one the opposite direction now, and so on and so forth. It works out pretty well, but I'm gonna need that bus line if I want. I'm gonna need the bus from the line if I want to do the whole Gapa thing as a separate thing. I'm also kind of thinking that potentially I should just leave OG alone and only take care of Jeju Island. I don't really think there are actually enough people on OG, especially in the Gapa terminal, to make this fully worthwhile. So that would also be another tactic to just min-max. Completely ignore this area, which is just really difficult to provide for with how few people there are and how much of a detour it is. And just take care of everything on the main island because that far outnumbers anything that you can get from the other one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to still include it. Maybe at some point I'll change the OG routes and just combine them back into one route. So that would be an incredibly long one. Doing the basically Ollering, but only with the terminals for one lap, then going down to Gapa, going down all the way to Sanho, back up to Gapa, and then back onto or towards Jeju Island. I don't know, I think that would just take so much time that it wouldn't be really helpful at all. I'm not entirely sure. Again, with the old route, just going to Gapa, Sanho, and then back up to Gangyang here. That was kinda alright. By doing the entire lap around the island, it's gonna be weird. And the worst case scenario is that at the terminals I pick up so many people for the other terminals that once I go down to Gapa and especially then Sanho, I might not be able to just pick up any more people. because the seats might just be filled up with people who want to go to different places. And that would suck quite a bit. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. Right now, I'm still in two minds about a lot of different things here. It's just stuff that I need to figure out. Also, when it comes to how the route is working right now, this is one of the more interesting things here that I also want to keep for later. I'm not just straight up going on the ring road around Jeju Island. I'm actually cutting across first and then doing a lap, cutting across it again, and then doing another lap around the island the other direction. And the reason for that is that I kind of want to cover both sides of the bus stop so that I can get more people in and not completely abandon one direction, because that's kind of, again, leaving a lot of people there. But just stopping at a terminal, maybe in the past I had it at Gangyang, that every time when I arrived at Gangyang, the route will continue in the direction I came from until I come back from the other direction and then go back that route again. It was a simple way of handling things, but I don't think it was ideal. And the issue here, I think I'm gonna show it on the map again, because that's gonna make explaining it easier. Let me show you right now. The reason why it's bad to just stop at one of the terminals and go the other direction is that, well, on the route over here, you usually pick up a lot of people who want to go further in this direction. And if you just come right here to Gangyang, of course you're gonna end up with a few people leaving. But there will be quite a few who just stay in the vehicle and they just gonna sit here, just going past the area where they came from. And, well, if I pick up somebody over here who wants to not go to Gangyang, they are gonna stay in the bus for the entirety of the route back here at least, and maybe they will jump off at Jeju, maybe they will jump off somewhere over here. So by cutting across the island before changing the direction, I'm also kind of first going to the stuff that I otherwise would have taken a lot more time to get to. For example, in this case, I go to Jeju, and once I come back around after a full loop in counterclockwise, once I arrive at the Jeju terminal again, I go across the island to Gangyang and continue this direction. And this means that not only do you get a pretty direct way from Jeju to Gangyang, which is, yeah, it works out pretty well. That's where a lot of people want to go anyways. The next in line, if I just continued this direction, would have been this part of the map, the west end. And if I cut across before going the other direction, I continue on the west end, so that should be a bit more straightforward for a lot of people there. And I don't know how I'm exactly going to handle the cut across part for the map. I will likely keep it for the whole double olive thing. Ideally, I would like to maybe just have a few more buses available, have a separate route clockwise and counterclockwise, but right now with how things are set up, yeah, I can really only afford to put one bus on there. But hey, maybe in the future the real way to deal with this is to just completely ignore Gapa. And in this case, that would allow me to use 2 more bus routes. I should maybe at some point at least limit it to it being one bus going to Gapa and the rest of Oji. I think for what it is right now, it's just wasting resources in the end. But we'll have to see how the town bonus is going, how much money it makes me. I mean, from the town bonus right now, we are at around 50% payment increase, and I think we were around We were definitely higher before. I think we were around 80 or something. So this is really not doing things optimally right now. I could also, of course, just go back to how things were, C loop and everything. But I think with what we have here right now, this is intriguing enough for me to keep at it and just try to find out different things, see what works. That definitely didn't work. I should really resurrect that old thread about server upgrades for steering. I actually looked back at the Discord the other day and I found that I already made a post like that in the past, and I mean, it didn't really get too many people excited. And someone even suggested that it should be done a completely different way, trying to put the words into my mouth, and I hate those people. It's just a dickish move. If you have an idea, sure, go ahead with it. And it might be better for how things could be handled, but just telling people like, yeah, that's what you really want. No, that's not. If that's what I really wanted, then I would have likely asked for it. Or you can just present it and maybe I'll figure out that I might prefer it, but just being like, yeah, that should be your idea, nah. Okay, this is where we turn around. Naturally I wanted to go that direction, but yeah, that's not how the route goes here. We actually do the counterclockwise route first and then we're gonna go back around. And just looking at the time I've spent already, I mean, there has been a bit of downtime just looking at the map and talking through things on there. This is gonna be another long one, but alright, I guess. And yeah, I turned down the rain. It's only on low setting right now. So I'm gonna have to see how that works out. If it's just gonna be very short rain showers now, and I mean that already ended again. If it just keeps happening frequently, then I may turn it off completely again for a while. I would definitely prefer things to work a bit differently and just get a rare occurrence of rain and then just having that happen for a long while. Also, another thing you may have noticed recently, there haven't been that many events, and that's really down to, I think I talked about this before, but I wanted to mention it again just in case I forgot. Um, Chess, the event organizer, is basically just having a bit of trouble with scheduling, so that's why events are not really happening all that often anymore. Bit sad, but well, it is what it is. Other things take priority and oh yeah, my bus is full. Which is another huge issue with this entire thing, especially once we get to people there sitting in the back that maybe want to go to Gapa again. And this is just gonna take a long time until I go back around to there. So this right now is really just not working out too well. So when it comes to events, I haven't skipped any. I haven't forgotten to record anything. It's just that they haven't happened that much recently. Somebody also recently suggested like a bus meetup. Could be kind of interesting, but I really don't have anything customized on them apart from the base color. So unless I'm getting a good idea on how to do something with the buses, I don't think that would be something for me. Just going with completely basic paint job would be a bit of a weird thing. I will have to see about that. Could always go there and just check out what other people did for a bit of inspiration. So this whole thing is kind of funny here in the fishing village. I basically want to include both the terminal and also the other stops over there, because they are decently frequented. He says coming up to a completely empty terminal because, well, that's what can happen. The thing is, with this terminal, the AI buses, basically when they get here, they can only leave in the northern direction. So I tried taking that into account. So now we're gonna go around here and then just loop around to the other side of the village and go to the, I don't know, fishing market or harbor, whatever, and pick up some people there. At least we have a few more people or a few more places here to be occupied. Can I say I really love the flair of this town in the darkness with light from the lighthouse and all of that. It's kind of eerie in a way, but kind of funny. Last one doesn't want to get in, which is curious. You know what? I know this is gonna be an immensely long video, but I'll just have to see. Okay, he would rather go to the Harlem bus terminal right now, and of course that's not on my list anytime soon. So I don't know what he's really waiting for. I mean, I'm coming across the other area soon enough, so he should have maybe just gotten on here. Or maybe he spawned just after I got here, I don't know. Didn't notice. But yeah, this is also stuff that you need to do if you really want to optimize your bus routes. Just checking in on the people who you don't get to transport, who don't want to be on your bus, and seeing if you actually need to modify your route in order to accommodate them. If it's just a single person being stuck there, then so be it. I mean, he can also just jump into the ocean and swim. I don't care. But in the end, once you get more town bonus, once more people come in, and yeah, that's something that can dynamically increase or decrease. That's just gonna be something where maybe suddenly you have 2 or 3 people stuck there. Okay, once we get to Gangyang, I actually need to refuel. That's also something that a friend and I discussed recently when I showed the game to him. Just the amount of fuel that you are using here. I mean, in the end, there's always gonna be some compromise in order to make refueling important and not just do it every 100 kilometers or something, which would be so rarely that, I don't know, it wouldn't really work out. But yeah, apparently for the vehicles, the tank size is not always on point, I would say, but it's working out well enough. But then, in order to keep them required to do some refueling every now and again, just the fuel consumption rate is so immense that it's just hilarious. If you look in the bottom right at the number that's displayed there, right next to the fuel tank, that's 0.09 kilometers per liter. Bit of a weird way of measuring that, because at least in Germany we have that in liters per 100 kilometers. So this is kind of the other way around, but what it's telling me is that it just drinks an entire liter of fuel every 80 meters, which is bonkers. I mean, the stop and go doesn't really help the entire thing. It would be far more relaxed if there were a few fewer stops right here. And I made sure to skip a few bus stops here because I have other buses helping out with that. What the hell are you doing there? Um, okay, he seems to want to turn around, which is good, apart from everything else happening around him there. That's, I mean, either they figure out a way or the NPC cars are gonna despawn and that's gonna be the end of that problem. But yeah, I'll have to see about that. That's actually, by the way, the bus that's supposed to do the Gangyang and downtown route, and by just sending it out there, I think it's just going way too far. I should really cover these kind of bus stops using the Ollering bus and taking care of everything with that. But that's something to take care of once we get to the redesign of everything here. Just gonna make sure that I don't miss the gas station here. That's something that I tend to do, and in this case I think it would be pretty much fatal. So we are making a bit of profit with our AI company, but I think it's really not the buses that I would expect to do the most profit right now that are really carrying the entire thing.
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Ah yeah, I'm full, so that's a good reason for that guy to not get in. Let's go for the refuel and then take a look at the bus company to see how it's actually working out. Oh, I also didn't get all the buses out because I was just on another server, and yeah, I tried doing some stuff with TWL again. So some of them are currently parked in storage. So I'll just go to Gapa real quick and I'll pull them out. I think that should be the easiest way to handle this. 1,000 kilometers. Yeah, this is the one that I used before. I was considering on maybe flipping the entire paint scheme, but it didn't look nice with too much orange. So I just let that guy go, and then I'll also go get the other one, which should be yeah, SV200 number 3. And I put an X in front of all of the buses here, apart from some of the cheaters, because these are buses that I expect to be using for the AI company, and therefore I don't need them on top of the list all the time. They're just clogging up the entire thing there. So let's move over to Gangyang again and get back into the bus. Of course, now my on-time bonus is history, but since I was refueling anyways, that was to be expected. And the thing that's actually weird about this, to bring this back, I mean, Jeju West is doing a lot of stuff right now, and I expanded it to also go to up to A ball and then turn around here. Usually, the Gangyang Jeju South area here, which is again too expanded right now. That's going way too many places. This used to be just on par with Jeju, so that's definitely a bit of a problem right here. And if I let the session run for much longer, we would actually see this much more clearly. This one here is likely gonna get removed with my redesign for the rest of the stuff. But this is also making quite a bit of money here. Gapa Senho is of course not really doing much apart from working towards getting any bus from Gapa to Jeju Island, a few more people. But that's kind of a necessary evil right now. And since it's going so many places, the other bus doing the same route here as I am, it's usually also quite profitable. Of course, that kind of requires you to have it active. I don't exactly know why that didn't happen. But yeah, since I already mentioned the TWL server, they currently have a little testing thing going on where they actually allow people to do company buses again. I didn't see how much I made from this. It's gonna be fine. A lot of people got off, not too many people got on, so we're running a bit with lower capacity right now. So the thing about TWL with buses as it is right now, they didn't raise any of the limits for how many vehicles you can have out there, so that's ultimately 3 vehicles. 2 of those are, or they can be whatever you want, so there's no real problem with that. The third one is supposed to be only used for trailers. So in the end, if you are doing anything, you can really only have one company bus out, and then yeah, maybe you need the trailer. If you don't, then that's just gonna be in storage. And you're doing whatever else. Overall, that can work out if there are enough people online. Today, when I looked there were like 20. And that's usually a pretty low number for that server. But that doesn't mean that anybody who is on that server at that time has a bus company going. And kind of organizing it to make the most out of it would be pretty hard. So I don't really know how that could be approached properly. But theoretically that would raise the overall bus limit on that server to multiple times what we can do in single player, so there would be a chance to get a huge bonus. But it also requires quite a bit of planning and being very flexible if somebody joins again, somebody leaves. You don't want people to do the same kind of route all the time, so that there's like 5 buses just going around Jeju City and nothing else. But yeah, that would be kind of interesting also figuring out. And again, right now it's really just a testing thing that they are doing. Just seeing if the server can even hold it. But hey, it's cool that they are giving it a try, and once again, props to the server to keeping things fair and equal. They're not just gonna allow a few of the admins to run all the buses they want and limit it for everybody else. It's either working in a way that's viable for everybody to use to some extent, or it's just not gonna be declared viable. So I think that's kinda cool in a way. And yeah, I'm also currently just making a lot of money in game. I'm almost at 600k once again. I still want to buy that one property, and I may do so just once we pass by here. I think especially with what I've seen from the next update, that might be a good position to have to use as a base of operations. But in the end, I still don't know when that update is coming out. But from what I heard other people talk about, it seems like it's gonna be a massive one. But yeah, this is the property that I mean. I think this is the closest that we can get to anything near Northern OG. 80k, that's pretty much free right now for what I have. Also should probably get to the side with a door. That usually helps when trying to enter a vehicle using the door. You know what, I'll just let this run for a moment here. So the thing that I was meaning to talk about is if I want to go somewhere up here where we currently have the other cheetah, there aren't really that many places to take towards that. Of course, I have my house over here in Gapa, which I just showed you by teleporting there. But that's a decently long and windy road to get from, or get to and from. And there isn't really any property up here. There's none around Anson. There's nothing around here until we get to Gapa and downtown again. So this one is at least decently close to the bridge here, and the bridge itself is a rather fast and straightforward way to get there. So if I want to start a job there and I need to spawn as close as possible to that point, I think that's gonna work out very well. I may also just build a house there and decorate it. Again, ideally, if I had the choice, I would turn this into a gas station or something, but again, that's just something that's in my head canon that I hope comes at some point, and it's not really it's not gotten any confirmation that it might come. And yeah, I made a conscious decision to just bypass all the stuff in that fishing village there, because there are just so many stops close by that it's kind of annoying really, just stopping at all of those. I would rather set up a bus route for an AI bus to deal with that. I don't want to do that myself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Again, not too many people around here. But I hope that once I do a few more changes to my bus route, this is also gonna change a bit more. Right now it's really just not performing well for the town bonus and everything. I might end up just giving up on some of the bus stops here and skipping them. Not this one though, because this is really, I mean, it's a slight detour from the regular road, but that one is also kind of annoying to deal with flower embankments. Those are slightly deadly occasionally, so I kind of want to skip them anyways, and this works out well. But there's actually another bus stop here. Just around here somewhere. It would be easy enough to make a detour just going left here, taking the bus stop as well, and then coming back around on the next road. That would work out quite well. Not too complicated, but I would have to see how many people actually spawn there in order to evaluate if it would be necessary. Same with this area. Basically going through here there are two ways I can take. I can either go straight as I'm doing right now, or take the road around the outside. And there's gonna be another set of bus stops on each direction later down the line on that road. Basically bypassing this entire thing here. But this one is decently well frequented, so I don't want to really skip out on it. I don't want to turn this entire thing into a loop where I go through the middle first, then come around the outside again and go back here to go around the entire thing once more. But I don't really know how to deal with it right now. As long as there are not too many people on the other bus stop, I may as well just skip that one. I think I even had this working in the past when I had a few other routes going. We'll have to see about it. I think if I'm going for a separate Olle route back and forth and also then just... Jesus Christ, mate, there's nobody in your way, just go. Maybe then I'll just have one of those buses going around the outside here, going around the center of that area with the other one. Should be alright. Should work out fine. I mean, maybe... I don't know how much of a compromise I want to do here, but I could see myself maybe just yeah, adding a few more spots to the stops to my Gapa run. So it's not only gonna be just all the different terminals, but maybe also a few very selected stops in the middle here. That could be alright. I don't want to stop at every single one that I come across, but skipping out on all of those might also be wasting a bit of potential. So there's gonna be another balance to be struck there, but I don't want to go all the way with just stopping everywhere. Man, I really expected this route to be a bit quicker, to be honest.
Hello.
I'm gonna finish it, but it's likely gonna be a very long one. Or you know what, maybe we actually do a two-part out of this. The next one should be the Jeju terminal, so that's about half of the entire thing done, and we'll just do another route or another round next episode where I do the other half. So it will be the same route as I'm doing right now, just in the reverse, and then going back down to Gapa. But yeah, if I continue here and just keep it all in one video, that's just gonna be way too long. I'll also try and not just do so many breaks on the next one. I think that it was kind of required for some of the stuff I wanted to talk about today, but it might be better to just be a bit more straightforward next time. And hey, at least there are quite a few people here at this terminal, which is pretty good. So I'm just gonna let the people get out, let the other ones get on, and that's gonna be the end of this episode.
Hello.
Hello.
Not too many people got off, but hey, at least a few.
Hello.
And the bus is full again, so that's gonna be it from my end for this one. There's actually another bus coming in. I think that's the direct connection to Gangyang, just going back and forth across the island. But yeah, this is gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.